Hello friends, welcome back to the online classes. Uh, I was taking lesson number 7, Glimpses of India, where we had three pen portrait of three different places in India. First one was a baker from Goa, then we had Kurg, and the third one was tea from Assam. And during this week, I had taken all these three uh, parts in your live class. Today, I'm just giving you the recap of these three uh, parts of this chapter. So, I believe you might have already understood the chapter very well and completed the question answers. Now, I'm just giving the recap of these three parts, starting with a baker from Goa. So, as we have already studied, that bread making in Goa is very much famous, as it is because Goa was ruled by many what you call by Portuguese, British, and French armies, and they had brought their own cultures and traditions there. Uh, Goa was the most affected by the Portuguese because Portuguese loved bread. So, the bread became their daily kind of a bread for them, daily food for them. So the bakers in Goa are still there and they still move around in Goa. It is varieties of bread are made there in Goa, and people love this bread uh, in Goa. Now, bread making was an art which needed perfection. Mixing, molding, and baking were the areas of specialization of making bread. The loaves were baked in tested furnaces. This profession has been continued by the bakers' descendants. So, it was an art, and these bread bakers were very good in this, in mixing, then molding, and baking in the furnaces. The furnaces were very big one, very large one, where plenty of breads used to be baked. And it became a kind of a profession for these bakers, and it continued as descendants, father from father to son, like that it continued. The author childhood he recalls, recalls the author recalls his childhood and says that during childhood, in the morning, when the baker used to come, he used to carry the large basket on his head, and with by one hand he used to hold it, and with the other hand he used to carry the bamboo stick, and on the top of the bamboo stick there would be some kind of a bell. When he used to hit on the ground, the bell used to ring. Now, hearing the sound of this bell, the children used to wake and they run out to this baker and stand circling him. Meanwhile, the maids of the houses used to come, and the baker used to give the bread to them. After once the maids and the elders go away from this baker, then the children all come together and start collecting their bread bangles, because it was very special for the children, made for the children, and it was sweet with the cherries and all those things. So children loved it, and they used to collect these bread. The author says that they won't brush in the morning because it was so sweet, it was so attractive. They as soon as they buy it, they start eating it. So the author says that why we should have the brush when the lions in the jungle does not brush. Second thing he says that when we drink tea, hot tea, so the mouth is already washed. So what is the need of plucking the mango leaves and then clean the teeth? So that's what the author tells it. Now, how the bakers deliver? Now, the bakers were actually the companions of these people, because he used to come twice a day. Once in the morning, as he walks and comes, he used to deliver the bread and then note down the amount of bread given to that particular family onto the wall. They did not have any kind of a notebook or mobile or like that to record it, but they used to record things onto the wall, just like today we do when we buy the milk. We used to write it on the calendars. So they used to write on the wall, and at the end of the month they used to collect the money and then rub the things on from the wall. In the morning he used to go sell the bread, and by evening his basket would be empty and then return from the same way. So these people know them, and they were used as the companions of these people. Now, importance of bread in traditional ceremonies. So the bread was very much important in the Goan tradition. It was used in each and every festival. It was used in each and every event, like marriages, engagement, and all sorts of festivals. So without bread, there was no festivity done or any kind of ceremony done. It looked like as if bread is not there, then that is not a party or that is not a festivity for them. The dress of the bakers were kind of a long frock type from top to bottom, and sometimes they used to wear the shirt and kind of a shorts, not exactly the half pant or full pant. It is between them. That means longer above below the knee, till below the knee it reaches. So they used to have this dress with them. And if by chance, if anybody is wearing this type of, now as we know these days, the trend is come of the short pants. It's not even above the knee, below the knee type of short pants. Pants are there, not full also, not half also. So that type of trends have started. So if by chance someone is wearing that type of pants and walking around in Goa, then they are called as the bakers, what you call padder, because the bakers are called padder in Goa. So there. Then bread making is a profitable profession. Definitely, you are only selling the bread and you get a lot of money with this. So the family of the baker, the servants of the baker, and workers of the bakers, they all are very rich, as well as they are progressing. Now, how progressing? Progressing, that means physically they all are very fat. So in Goa, if by chance someone is seen with a big fat tummy, they consider them as a baker, because bakers are more having more tummy, more fat in their body. So they are considered that. That was the baker from Goa. Second part is Coorg. Now, Coorg is situated between Mysore and Mangalore, okay, in Karnataka. It's a very small district in Karnataka, the smallest district of Karnataka, which is situated between Mysore and Mangalore. Okay, it is very beautiful. It looks like as if the heaven has come down on this place. The weather and the environment of Coorg is very beautiful. It is very nice. From April to August, it is very heavy rain. Monsoon time it is, and it's very heavy rain. We cannot visit during this time. The best time to visit Coorg is between September to March. This time the weather is very pleasant, even though sometimes rain falls, but still the weather is very beautiful. People enjoy the atmosphere and move around there very nicely. People of Coorg, they are called as Coorgis, and the legend goes of this is that Greek and Arabs, the descendant of Greeks and Arabs had come and settled down there. The one legend says that the army of Alexander the Great, when they were going back, they lost their way and happened to reach to this place by the coastal side of India. They walked and came here, and finally when they found that they have lost the way, they cannot go back to their country. Then they settled down there, married the locals, and established a kind of a new type of religion, ceremonies, and all everything, rituals. Even though they were Hindus, but they were different from the mainstream of Hindus. They loved it to stay there. Now, they were known for their bravery, they were known for their courage, because they were soldiers of Alexander the Great. The second legend is that that they are from Arabs, because they wear a very long coat, a black coat with the embroidered belt tied to the waist. So the which is called kafi. It is similar like coffee of Arabs, kind of a dress they wear the waist. That's why the people say that they are from Arabs. Now, people of this place are very hospitable. They have respect for the guest, and for them guest is like God, and they try to keep them very happy, keep them safe, and fulfill all their needs. So the hospitality of these people, Kurg people, are very good. As I have already said that they are the descendants of the soldiers of Alexander the Great, so definitely they are very brave, and their tales are said by their parents to the, it is continued from the descendants, that how brave they were, what they have, how many fights, battles they have won, and all those things. And because of this, their bravery and their legends, Indian army has got one regiment called the Kurg regiment, of which we had one first army chief, General Cariappa. Now, Cariappa also was belonging from this place. He was also a Kurgi. So, he was the first army chief of India. So, this bravery is done, this army of regiment of Kurg is well known for their bravery. All over India, only these people have got freedom freedom to keep the license, or to keep the fire guns without any license, whereas rest of the India we have to have license first, then only we get guns. But these people need not to have any sort of license, they can use the gun. The wildlife of Kurg is very good. Many varieties of butterflies, birds we can see. The river Kaveri gets its water from the hills of Kurg during the monsoon and other time of the years also. People enjoy going there. The tourists come in good number. For them, those who want to have a highly adventurous time, they can have spend time here, because there are river rafting, rope jumping, climbing, mountain climbing, bike climbing, all those adventurous things are there, and people love it. And many places you can walk through the pathways. Then here we have what you call good number of Tibetan monk, Buddhist monk as well as Tibetan monks live here the most, with their red and yellow robe. They are walking around, and the moment when we reach to this place, we feel that we have reached kind of a heavenly abode, because it is very peaceful, it is very prayerful atmosphere. So people love to go to this place. And the last one is tea from Assam. Now this is a small story of two friends, Rajveer and Pranjal. Now Pranjal lives in Assam, and after his studies and all everything, the vacation, he invites Rajveer to his home. So they are traveling from Delhi to Assam to for the holidays, vacations, and Rajveer was very excited to go with Pranjal. And as he was sitting in the train, he was enjoying the beautiful scenery of the greenery in Assam. That is the green fields, and between the green paddy fields, the tea leaves, bushes had come out, and the tea were plucking. So he was very much enjoying it. The beautiful tea gardens. The view from the train was also panoramic. There was greenery outside. So he was enjoying this tea garden very much through the train. As he was traveling the train, he was enjoying it very much. He was loving it so much that he could not control his excitement. And he was every now and then telling to Pranjal, who lives there, that how beautiful this is and how lucky he is to live in this greenery world. The legend about discovery of tea are there, that some legends, a Chinese legend says that the emperor of China was had gone for hunting, and when he was tired, he sat down under a tree, and the water was boiling, and from the tree some few leaves fallen into that boiling water, and that leaves turned into tea. And when he drank, he loved it very much, and from there this tea started. These leaves started. Another legend is that a Buddhist monk, well known Buddhist monk, when he was meditating, he was getting sleep. So he removed his eyelid, one of the eyelid he removed and threw. Now from this eyelid, 10 tea bushes, tea plants came up, and that's why the tea, when the leaves of this tea plant was put into the water, boiling water, it became tea. The words chai and chini, they are the Chinese word. So it is said that this tea the tea drinking of tea started from China, and from here it spread to Europe and then came back to Asia. That's a way how the tea spread in the world. Earlier, tea was drunk as a medicine. It was taken as a medicine, so that the people, those who are working, those who are studying, they can drink it, and they can get rid of the sleep and work concentratedly. But now it has become a kind of a beverage. Every house or every place, the tea is drunk as a morning tea, and we have got evening tea also. Now when he reaches to Assam, Rajveer and Pranjal reach to their Merini junction. From there they travel to Dekibari, the place where Pranjal's father looks after a tea farm, a tea company. So Pranjal takes Rajveer to this place so that he could see the tea farm very closely. So as they were walking, he could see that so big the tea farm spread all over the hills. The ladies are walking with the apron, plastic apron, plucking the soft tea leaves from the bushes. The best tea you can find in the month of May to July. You can find the best tea, or you can have best tea during the month of May and July. So these are the three stories of India, the three important places of India, and whenever you feel like to go for a holiday anywhere, try to visit one of these three places. I hope you might have understood the chapter well. Please complete your question answers in your copy. Stay home. Have a nice day.